Hello and welcome back. Thank you so much everyone for getting in touch, sharing your thoughts and opinions. The best place to do so, comment section below. And if you've got a longer story, maybe with some pics, you can email hi@tuesday@dobbs.com. Let's start off with this. Just carrying on the conversation a bit. Used bike prices and the prices that dealers will offer you. This is from Ian. Freddie, I'm a 60-year-old rider who's been motorcycling for over 40 years. Having had a wide variety of bikes over the decades, I recently took delivery of a new 221 edition Triumph Rocket 3. I'm completely delighted with the bike and my only regret is not having bought one sooner. I was, however, shocked at the depreciation of my trade-in. It was a 2023 Triumph Tiger 1200 Rally Pro. I had the bike from new some 7 months earlier from the same franchised dealer. And I was shocked to find out I was offered £7,000 less than I'd paid for the bike just 7 months ago. So I managed to negotiate a significant reduction on the price of the Rocket, but nevertheless still suffered a sizable loss on the Triumph Tiger. Having spoken to a number of people, my experience is not unique. A chap I know traded in, listen to this, an 11-month-old Honda Goldwing DCT Tourer with every conceivable extra, which he paid an eye-watering £34,000 for, and just 11 months later, he was offered £21,000 trade-in. I also had a Harley Davidson 2022 Road King Special with a number of extras, exhaust, tuning, etc., and was offered just £12,000 against a new BMW R1250 RT. The Road King was worth £20,000 all day long. An acquaintance bought a Harley Davidson Pan America and paid £18,000. 2 years on and 10,000 miles later, he's now being offered £7,500 to trade in at a Harley dealer. I could go on. My point is, Freddie, dealers and traders, when acquiring bikes, appear to be falsely deflating the prices of motorcycles at the point of purchase to increase their own margins. Look, I realise that they have a living to make, but I'm reliably informed that some dealers want to ensure a 20 to 25% profit on the purchase of a trade-in. I've literally spent and lost fortunes on bikes over the years, and that's to be expected. But I feel that as a community, motorcyclists are being taken advantage of. I've heard of people who, through unfortunate personal circumstances, are forced into selling their bikes and they're being taken advantage of by dealers and traders. Ian, this is really interesting because it makes me realise two things. Number one, when you're trying to negotiate a private sale, trying to buy a bike privately, you realise how much of a bargaining chip you have there, because you know that the traders are going to offer such rock bottom prices. You have sometimes a good 20% to negotiate in that price with the private seller. If they're offering about £7,500 on a Pan America, it looks like, roughly speaking, the cheapest Pan America on Auto Trader is about £9,000. So you can get some rough idea as to the margins the traders will look to get. I'm a big fan of these Pan Americas. Take a look. Let's have a look at this. You've got me thinking, Ian. What can you get used Harley Davidson Pan Americas? If I go to Bike Trader, Harley Davidson Pan America, there are 101 available, so there's no shortage of them. They start at $8,475, but I don't want one that's been wrapped. I want an original one. Take a look at this, £8,990. I remember doing a podcast, it can't be more than a year ago, where I was talking about the Pan Americas and I was freaking out saying, my lord, they've come down below the £10,000 mark, but look at them now. 2-year-old Pan America, under £9,000, 6,000 miles on the clock, 1252cc V twin engine, 150 horsepower. That is within touching distance of being half the price of a brand new Pan America. Incredible bikes. That is a really, really good bike for the money. Ian, thank you so much. Eye-opening. On now, the Tread Trader. This is about, again, selling your bike privately. Triumph Tiger 800. Freddie, I recently sold an 800 Tiger. Bike Trader? Forget it. No response. Facebook Marketplace? Just messages from time wasters. eBay? Lots of response and lots of interest. I sold it on eBay, £4,000. I ended the auction early to miss eBay commission. I then bought a later Tiger from a trusted local dealer. Let's have a look at these then. Triumph Tiger 800s. 220 of these available, and they start at £2,200. This is the best sales pitch or the best sales proposition for Triumph Tigers that you can get anywhere, full stop. Take a look at this. Start at 2.2k, 68,000 miles on the clock. That's over 100,000 kilometers in 10 years. Next one, 38,000 miles. Next, 42,000 miles. I'll do one more, 60,000 miles. These are proper bikes designed to do big distances, and the owners trust them enough to actually take them on big distances. This is the one I'm going to focus on. 2011 Triumph Tiger 800. Remember this picture. Touching distance to 60,000 miles on the clock. Now, take a look at this on eBay. If I type in Triumph Tiger 800, this is the best way to judge the real market value of a bike. Go onto eBay and then go to filter, make sure it's pressed and highlighted on auction, and then take a look at this. So 5 have come up on auction. This is the one in question. Exactly the same bike, same mileage, not advertised at £3,200, but instead auction starting at £2,000. My guess is the auction's been going on for about a day. No bids yet, but 7 people have started watching it in the past 24 hours. The interesting question is, what will that actually sell for? And how big a discrepancy between the 3,200 it's on Auto Trader for and the actual end auction price? Thank you for that. Very interesting. Moving on to David. Carrying on with the Triumph theme here. Freddie, I have a Triumph Speed Twin 1200. That's a 2020 model. It's got 13,123 miles on the clock, and recently I had a problem with it, with the rear right indicator. It stopped working and the front right indicator just stayed on while operating. So to repair the indicator, it cost me £1,069.76. This is not a typo. It was over £1,000. I bought a new OEM indicator off eBay and put it on the bike. The indicator worked for a few minutes and then stopped flashing, with both right side staying solid. That cost me £25. So I then decided I had to take the bike to a mechanic who, after investigating, said I needed new clocks as an issue with the EMU. That was £100 for the check. That's 2 hours labour, fair and reasonable. I then had to take the bike to a Triumph dealer who ordered new clocks, fitted and calibrated the same at a cost of £944.81. The total cost to repair the indicator was £1,069. Surely that should not be the case. Would you not agree? David, that should never be the case for something surely as simple as that. Surely manufacturers need to make sure that owners of motorbikes are never going to be put in an unpleasant position when repairing any one specific area of the bike. I just can't believe that there are some parts of a bike that, if needed to be repaired, they're so ruinously expensive it can actually put people off owning a bike, because £1,100 by the time you've had the labour to check and the diagnostics done is insanity. David, I feel for you, because that's just £1,100 down the drain for something that should never ever have failed. On now to white wall tyres, something a little bit more upbeat. This is from Daniel. Check out these pictures. I love this. Freddie, I spent the weekend painting the tyres of my Royal Enfield Classic 350 and I am absolutely thrilled with the results. It has made this beautiful bike even more of a head turner with this wonderful retro nod. I've always had a love of these tyres and figured I could do them myself. It took all weekend, eventually managing 4 coats on each side of the wheels. The results are spectacular. As you can see for yourself in the pictures attached, I bought the paint from a British company called Mr. White Walls. I agree, I remember having a Harley Davidson Softail Deluxe in Tenerife. I had it for 3 days and it had white walls, and ever since then I've loved them. I think it transforms the look of them. And you've done such a good job here. It's seamless. You can't tell that you've just done this yourself at home, painted them white. That transforms the bike. I don't know how it would look on the Bonneville, but after seeing that, if I had a Classic 350, I would genuinely be painting the walls of my tyres in white. Wow, Daniel, congrats. On now to Radek in Poland. Warranties, not always a guarantee of an easy life. Freddie, 4 months ago, I issued a warranty claim on my 2023 Kawasaki Z900 RS SE front tyre. It had begun cracking in the threads along the entire circumference of the tyre. The issue is still not resolved after 4 months. Kawasaki either go silent or claim the tyre provider to be postponing the process or whatever else. So my local dealership tells me it's in the Netherlands and Japan Kawasaki department's fault. On the same bike, an ABS sensor broke. The claim is now 1 month in progress and still no sign of resolution. I replaced the tyres and the ABS sensor with my own money just to keep the bike running. The Kawasaki warranty service and customer care is absolutely pathetic for European-based customers, or at least Polish-based customers. You buy a new bike and you pay for the warranty and the customer service, which in reality just does not work. I'll never buy a new Kawasaki again for that reason, and I highly recommend to you that you should be doing research on warranty claim resolution before you buy a new bike. Radek, that as one of the key reasons why people buy new bikes, to have or to be failed by a manufacturer like Kawasaki, that is really hard to stomach. Motorcycle storage. I asked last week, what are your storage solutions for biking? Take a look at these pics. We will start with Paul. Paul has gone down a slightly different avenue. Freddie, a 20-foot pictured shipping container will easily fit 2 bikes plus good small workshop, which is a lot cheaper than getting a shed built. The only problem with these is you would need a gigantic garden or area to be able to keep these. Otherwise, your entire garden would just be taken up by a shipping container. But from a storage point of view and security, surely nothing better than that. I'll do one more. This is from Neil. Freddie, I think I said Vanguard, apologies. The Asgard shed is an amazing piece of kit which has saved me around £950 in my insurance over the past 6 years. I, like many other people, don't have a garage, so my motorbikes were kept at the side of the house or garden under a cover. In 2017, I bought a Kawasaki Z1000SX from new. I'd had the bike for about 4 months when, yep, you've guessed it, it was stolen from the side of the house. Unfortunately for me, I never had gap insurance, so I lost £2,500 as my insurance company, well, they valued it at second hand. Now I always have gap insurance. After 2 offers from the insurance company, I just had to agree to the loss. So I searched high and low for the best metal shed, and the Asgard came up trumps. for, at the time, it was £1,300. They are expensive, but then again, so is replacing a stolen motorbike. Neil, that really sums it up, doesn't it, at the end? Yes, they're expensive, but if they can protect your bike, if they're secure enough and strong enough to genuinely protect it, it's got to be worth every penny. On now to Vadim. It's almost like today is constantly bad news, but sometimes that is the most fascinating kind of news. Vadim's experience with a Moto Guzzi California. A while ago I purchased a Moto Guzzi California 1400 Audace. It was only about a year old and had done 1,500 miles. Very nice bike, but on the first long ride I have lost an exhaust. I lost an exhaust on one side and then nearly lost one from the other side. That was not a very good impression for my first ride. Then, a couple of thousand miles later, I started to hear a noise from the left cylinder. One of the valves, this is the picture here, look at the damage. One of the valves had dropped into a cylinder and made a big mess inside the engine. At this point, the bike was about 3 years old with 5,000 miles on the clock, and the manufacturer warranty was 2 years. I contacted Moto Guzzi and they kindly advised me that the bike is out of warranty. Well, that's good of them. And they can do nothing about it. The only thing they offered is discount on parts. I could not afford the new engine and the bike has been sold as it is, i.e. with a written off a completely broken engine. There were plenty of Audaces available on eBay. Now, however, you just can't find any of them, probably because they're all dead. Also, Moto Guzzi is no longer making them. And I think I know why. Vadim. When Joe was fixing my Bonneville, he and I had a chat and we discussed the idea of just getting a used engine, because I think it's something like £500, if my memory serves me correctly, for a Triumph Bonneville engine. My exact one, you could take your pick from about 6 to 10 of them. Buy one of those secondhand, slot it straight in the bike, £500-600 for the engine, get a mechanic to put it in there, done. Look, it's still not pleasant. You're still going to be down £1,000 by the end of it, but at least you've still got your bike and you haven't bankrupted yourself. The problem with the Audaces, and I had a look earlier, go onto eBay, go anywhere you want to go to, you cannot find a second-hand engine that's been taken out of a bike. They just don't exist because the bike is so rare, and that is the single biggest problem with rare vehicles, whether it's cars or motorbikes. Vad, I'm glad you're back on the road though. Now on to Bike of the Week. Last week about 5 people recommended this for Bike of the Week. People were raving about this bike. And I was reading the comments in YouTube, what you were saying about the bike. Someone basically said, this bike is the best bike ever. And then 2 or 3 comments said, yeah, but it's really boring. So I discounted it last week. But this week there were another 8 to 10 people who said, Freddie, Bike of the Week. And I thought, no, you know what? Just because a couple of people say it may not be the most exciting bike in the world, there are too many people saying this bike deserves to be Bike of the Week. It is the Honda CB500X. This comes in from Bernie. Freddie, I thought I'd share my review of owning a 2019 Honda CB500X. Pictures included of Bernie's bike. After years of riding big CC and heavyweight motorbikes, such as Harley Davidsons and Triumphs, I've come to the conclusion that 500cc 47 horsepower has triggered my love of motorcycling once again. I always thought the more power equals more enjoyment. However, the lightweight, extremely fuel efficient, 70 miles per gallon average, and tremendously comfortable CB500X is by far the best purchase decision I have ever made. For that reason, I would like to nominate it Bike of the Week, Bernie. Bernie, this is a genuine trend here. I'm so glad you sent this in because I was just chatting to Eric, Scottish guy I met over in Tenerife, and he said he's just sold his massive BMW touring bike for a much smaller Honda NC750. The amount of people that are downsizing to those two bikes is huge. It's a genuine trend in motorcycling now. People actually downsizing their engine size instead of constantly going up and up through the engine range, coming back down because they find the smaller capacity engines, 500 to 750cc, genuinely more enjoyable, easier to live with. Bernie, this is a very, very worthy bike of the week. So what do we have? 500cc adventure bike, 47 horsepower, so as an added bonus that's A2 license compliant, and it's just the right size if you want to enjoy some off-roading, a bit of manhandling and comfy long tours. Has it, honest question here, if we're looking at a motorcycle purely as a mode of transport, has any motorcycle ever made more sense than one of these two Hondas that I've just mentioned? Brand new, you can pick up. I mean, there's such good value. It's almost worth just buying brand new. £6,200 brand new, and Honda have a decent finance package at the moment. But you can pick one up, and I'm going to specifically go for the 2013 to 2018 model here, because I want to find you one that's £2,000. Complete, unbreakable reliability, the ability to do some off-roading if you fancy it, the ability to tour, go up, two up in comfort anywhere, and just a bike that will be a really, really trusty mode of transport. If all you're looking for is a genuinely good motorbike that won't ever let you down, that will tick every single box, that won't bankrupt you, there surely is nowhere else to go than the CB500X. Let's see what I found here. I'm going to go to Facebook Marketplace for this one, just because this seems to be the place where I could pick up the best ones. I'm going to show you two of them. The first one is the one that I decided not to go for, but just have a look at this. 2016 model, £2,500. This one honestly is hugely, hugely overpriced, surely. £2,500, and you may say, look, that's an okay price. One owner, but then you'll see the mileage is 109,000 miles. Look, I think this is overpriced, but what it does do is demonstrate just how tough these are. 109,000 miles from one owner. This is one I've gone for. Bike of the week. Advertised 28 days ago. For me, this is an unbelievably good bargain. 2016, 8-year-old CB500X, 22,000 miles on the clock. £2,350, and it's been this discussion we've been having for weeks. Why aren't bikes selling? The owner of this must be looking at it thinking, what more do I have to do to actually sell this? You're going to get this easily under the £2,000 mark, even if it's just £10 under that magic number. Good general condition, a couple of marks, good tyres. It's got everything. It's ready to go. MOT till October. Never let him down. Of course it hasn't. It's a Honda. There you go. If you want a reliable mode of transport, £2,000, CB500X. Bernie, thank you so much for that. And I'll wrap it up. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this week's episode. Have a brilliant week all, and I will see you all in the next one.